everyone, and welcome to Saints Podcast. I am Eric Volden, of course, Director of Admissions here at Seward County Community College, and bringing you more information about our programs and what we offer here on campus. I am joined today by a couple of guys. I think I've been trying to get you guys in the studio for like a year now. Does it feel like that's just me, or is it? Yeah,
we're busy.
So I have with us today Lexi, Honey, and Travess Funk with our Surgical Technology Department. All right. Thank you guys for coming in. Do you guys just kind of want to introduce yourself and tell us what you do here at the college?
Well, like Eric said, I am Lexi Honey. I'm the program director for the Surgical Technology program.
And I'm Travess Funk. I'm the clinical coordinator for the Surgical Technology program, and I'm in my 14th year here at the college.
Yeah, Travess, I know you've been here for a while, man. Training Surg Techs. Surg Techs. All right.
One of the longest ones at Allied Health.
So can you guys just give us just an overview of what kind of the Surgical Technology program is about?
Well, surgical technology is one of those fields that just a lot of people just don't know that much about.
Yeah.
When people say that they want to work in a hospital, they think they need to be a nurse or a doctor, and that's just not the case. We offer a lot of Allied Health or a lot of programs over at Allied Health. Surgical technology is one of them. So what those professionals do, or they work in operating rooms. Mainly, I'd say 90% of the jobs they're working in operating rooms, but a lot of the surgical techs nowadays can work in the private sector for surgeons. We have a lot of students that are doing that now. And then OBs, and then when you get into the bigger cities, they have just strictly GI labs, and they hire surgical techs for that. So it's a pretty wide field, but still kind of narrow, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of dealing with like setting up the OR. They assist in surgery as well, kind of, right?
Oh, they're elbow deep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They're right there by the surgeons. When you're working in an operating room, you're right there, and all different types of surgeries, just not anything specific like general surgery or surgical techs are well rounded. They know all aspects of every surgery.
Yeah, and I tell the kids when I'm talking about Surg Tech, I'm like, okay, you ever watch like Grey's Anatomy or House or something like that? The surgeon's standing there and he says scalpel.
Yeah,
and somebody hands him the scalpel. You're that guy. You're the guy handing the tools over.
That's us.
All right. So what kind of classes is a student looking at taking? I mean, kind of that's sort of the overview, but what are some of the things that you guys teach, like in the classroom? And because I know I see you guys over there in your surg lab putting on gowns and stuff all the time.
Yeah, we got a new lab over there, and we're very pleased to have that. So during the fall semester, when they get into the surgical tech program, we teach them the skills that they need to know to be safe in the OR. When we go to clinicals in the spring, it's real surgery at real hospitals that these students are in on. And so what we have to do is make sure that they're safe. While they're there, they learn surgical procedures. Now, we do have a class of surgical procedures online, but the hands-on portion of it is taking place at the actual hospitals. Southwest Medical Center across the street from us is one of them, a good clinical site of ours. And so that's where they learn surgical procedures. But during the fall semester, we drill them pretty hard on their aseptic technique, so when they do go out there, they're safe. So that's a lot of what we do in the lab, and that takes a whole semester.
Yeah, and it's really cool that we have those kind of partnerships with our area hospitals and facilities where our students can actually go in and like real surgeries. That's very, very cool.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. They're enjoying it.
Yeah,
it's stressful, but they're enjoying it.
I'll bet. What was one of the last surgeries that they kind of participated on as part of their clinicals?
We do a lot of total joints out here. I was at the clinical sites yesterday, and there was a ton of procedures going on, but we do a lot of total joints out here. Take out a lot of gallbladders. It seems like there's 3 or 4 of those on the schedules at all the clinical sites every day. So that probably has to do with our fatty foods that we eat out here. But
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's all the fried food we got out. Yeah,
that's a pretty common one.
Yeah. So what are some of the prerequisites to get into the surgical technology program? Because I know everything out at Allied Health has prerequisites, and everything out at Allied Health also has a secondary admissions process. So, what are the prereqs to that? And then, if I want to apply to be in the Surg Tech program, how do I go about that?
Oh, absolutely. Like a lot of our allied health programs, we have communications requirements. Students will have to have either English Comp 1, English Comp 2, or public speaking. So those are the communications requirements. We have requirements for anatomy and physiology. We encourage them to take the two separate courses because it seems like students get a little bit better in-depth vision into anatomy.
Yeah.
Microbiology is another prerequisite, and medical terminology. And then also just some general electives. They need 9 credit hours of general electives to be a more rounded student as well.
So like your English Comm, psychology, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Those typical ones that you'd see in any degree path.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think more and more allied health and just the health field in general are going to the two separate anatomy and physiology, not the combined A&P class like I got away with back in the day.
Yeah.
But the two separate classes. So like you're talking about, Lexi. Yeah.
Yeah, they look at things a lot more in depth in those courses. So, and I mean that's directly what we deal with. So we want students to have a good concept of anatomy.
Yeah. So what about the application process? So once I have my prerequisites done, how do I go about actually getting into the surgical technology program?
Students will fill out an application. They'll have to have some reference forms, 3 different reference forms. They send those in. We do a formal interview, and we try and get our applications in by May, just so if you still need intro to surgical technology, which is another prerequisite, we can get you in for the summer semester. Intro is offered in the fall, spring, and summer, and you don't have to have them completed to be accepted. You just have to be able to complete them prior to enrollment in August.
Okay. And by letters of recommendation, you mean like from people within the field that you have to go and collect these letters from? Or
Yeah, so if students have been working as a CNA, CMA, or working in PT, anything like that, they get credit for that, and they can get references from their employers, from teachers, instructors, anybody that's going to say what a good student, or that they're reliable, that they show up on time, those kind of things.
Kind of like applying for a job.
Yeah. So somebody's need a letter of recommendation for a job or
Sure.
something.
Yeah.
So okay, cool.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. And do you guys only start the Surg Tech program in the fall, or can they hop in fall or spring?
Yeah, we have one cohort a
Okay.
year, and that starts in the fall. So we're an 11-month program, so we do go through the summers, but we'll start in the falls. So just like a typical in August, just like typical classes would begin.
Yeah, and I think most of the allied health does that. I
Yeah.
think Janae, respiratory therapy. I think she's
think
the
they start in
only
January.
one. Yeah, I think she's the only one that you can hop in at a weird time.
Right, yeah.
So, everybody else starts in the fall. So if you're planning on getting in any of the allied health, make sure you're ready to go in August.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
that application process is going on now. What are we in? We're in March.
March,
So that process actually started back in
It starts November 1st, and we take them all the way till May 1st.
or until we're full. So
Yeah, and I know we got lots of interviews going on. I hear everybody that's.
Yep.
I got a lot of students in my office like, oh, I hope I get in. They're
Yeah.
chewing fingernails right now. So we also offer something that we kind of picked up this year is the sterilization certification. So this has only been going on. We just started this fall, right?
This spring, actually.
The spring,
This is a spring
okay.
semester course.
Cool. Yeah. So, can you tell me about that? And it's kind of part of Surg Tech, but you can also do it as a separate certification, right?
Yeah, so that program got started by one of our clinical sites. They had approached us and had asked us about that. We knew sterile processing, but I wasn't really sure that there was a certification for that. Well, when we found out that there was, and the hospitals asked us if we would teach that, we jumped all over it.
Oh, yeah.
So Lexi and I, we went and got certified in sterile processing, so we were able to teach it. And we spent a good year or two writing those courses. So sterile processing, those individuals are sterilizing the instruments that we use in the OR, but not just specifically to the OR, throughout the whole hospital. And so anything sterilization, anything that needs decontamination is going to go through sterile processing, and that is now a certification that we offer. And it's a 1 semester course. It's all online. And then there's a clinical component too. We have 2 students in clinicals right now. They're doing a really good job, and so there's there is a clinical component to it as well. So it's kind of a hybrid online, if you will.
Yeah. It's a 7 credit hour course, 4 credit hours being online lecture, and then 3 credit hours or 135 clinical hours.
Okay. And this, I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about medical waste. So this is one of those kind of things that can help eliminate, more medical waste, so we're not throwing away the instruments, right?
Yeah, these instruments are reprocessed. So they go through a process of decontamination, washing the instruments, making sure that they are clear of all bioburden. And then not only that, they have to put the instruments back together in the trays, in their sets, run them through the sterilization process, and then put them where they need to be for the surgical techs to take them to the OR.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yeah.
Distributing them throughout the throughout the hospital or the right departments. So
Yeah, and like you guys said, this is the whole hospital wide. They need somebody to do this.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. One department will cover the entire hospital.
Okay. And so how long is the surgical technology program? Start to finish. I have no credits, no nothing. How long till I get my certification?
Well, if you have nothing coming in, it will be a 1 year of prerequisite courses. You can get those done in 1 year, and then you start the program in August, and then our students usually end up done mid-July.
So the program length is 11 months once they get in, but they'd still have a year of college up front.
Yeah.
And that's changed. We used to offer both a degree and a certificate. I think we were the last allied health program that actually offered a certificate, and that changed through the accreditation process. We didn't change that. Accreditation changed that on behalf of all the surgical tech programs, and so now we're just strictly 2 years.
Yeah, and that was pretty recently, I think. Well, wasn't it just in the last year or two? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I remember Dr. Campbell talking about that one time. All right.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about it, touched on it a little bit at the beginning when we first started talking. But Travess, and you and Lexi, can you guys go over more of like once I graduate with my certification with my associates, what job opportunities are available post graduation?
Oh my word, we have job seekers or job hunters calling us all the time. Everybody's always calling us. So placement, we have a 100% placement. Actually, right now, the students that are in clinicals, they're being actively recruited right now by our clinical sites because of all the job openings.
Yeah.
They would expect to be working in the operating rooms. For the most part, that's where a lot of these jobs are. Once they get experience, that'd be kind of like an entry-level tech. They're going to be working in the OR. Once they get a little bit of experience, they could actually go into the private, well, not private, but I guess what we'd call working for the doctors, the surgeons.
Yeah.
So they would move up from there. But I would say when right out of graduation, there's a good possibility that they could get a job around here or pretty much anywhere, and those are going to be in the operating rooms.
Yeah.
And then they'll go up from there.
So there's never enough people in the medical field to cover all the spots.
No, it's nice getting all those phone calls saying, hey, where's your graduates? Where's your graduate? We just had a student interview the other day, and she won't be finished until July, and she's already interviewed for a position.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right.
Cass and Merlin. There you
Right.
go. So
One
No,
thing
go
that's
ahead.
good to note is once you finish the program, you're eligible to sit for the certification, which is by the NBSTSA. It's for the CST certification, Certified Surgical Technologist. Once you get your Certified Surgical Technologist, basically you're set to work anywhere in the United States.
Cool. And are there? I'm sure there's like continuing education stuff that they have to do as they're just going through. But are there any like recertification courses or anything they have to do later on?
Yeah, that's the biggest complaint a lot of them have is,
Yeah.
and it's just like any license or any certification. Yes, there's always continuing education. So yeah, like Lexi and I work on ours all the time. In fact, we're going to a meeting here in Louisiana this June, and that'll be some continuing ed for our certification purposes because Lexi and I are still certified. And so, I think it's
2 years.
Yeah,
2 years to get 30 credits.
Okay.
So it's not too terrible.
That's not too bad.
But-
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
guys. I think that's about all the questions I have. Is there anything else that I'm missing, or anything you guys gonna kind of add before we wrap up here?
One thing that I'll add for the sterile processing and distribution course, we do have a minimum TABE test score for that one.
Yeah.
It's the same as CMA, I believe, which is the 563.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the requirement to get into the SPD course.
All right.
Yeah, and then we would encourage those people to come in and just visit with us. I'm at the clinical sites quite a bit this time of year during the spring semester, but Lexi's in our office all the time. We would encourage those individuals just to come in and talk to us because it could be a little confusing, and we get that.
Yeah.
And so we're approachable. We want them to just come in and talk to us, and we'll be able to guide them with whatever they need to do.
Yeah, there you go. We one of our philosophies here, just on campus wide, is if you need help, hey, reach out, man.
Just ask somebody.
Just ask. You know,
Yeah.
we love to help our students. So.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Thank you guys, Travess and Lexi, so much for coming in today.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
I really appreciate it. And I'm glad we finally got to sit down and talk about some surgical tech. All right.
Right.
So I'm going to put up some admissions contact info here on the screen here in just a few. So if you want to apply for admission to the college and get started, so you can get started on this amazing surgical technology career, we can help you out with that. Lexi and Travess, thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.